Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. I'm Mr. Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, wearing clothes, but you can't see me because we're just gonna have old Overwatch gameplay as the background. I don't know what this video is. I mean, I played it, but this is back when Juno was available. Anyway, that's beside the point. The one thing, and let me preface this statement. The holidays kind of, don't really mean anything to me because, it's just, to me, holidays are an excuse to boost the economy. It's like, it seems like it's every like couple of months, there's something to make you spend money. That's what I think about the holidays, which probably isn't good or it's not bad, but it's just the truth. But I will tell you the one thing I don't like about the holidays, and it's what it does to the porn industry. And hear me out. Like, okay, think of Easter. What happens during Easter? Okay, so every porn site does the same thing. They have a girl, usually wearing bunny ears or or in a bunny suit or like a bunny like mascot outfit or a guy, whatever. It's like someone is dressed like a bunny, but kind of like a furry bunny. Like not like a Playboy bunny, but like I'm wearing like a like a mascot outfit. So anyway, and for some reason they think that's a good idea. You know, and it's like that for every holiday. And so like for Christmas, it'll be like the same thing except everyone's wearing a Santa hat. Like it's so stupid, and it really how do you say it? It really dates the porn. Like the one thing that you want with your porn is you want it to be timeless. And so if you have a porn where a girl has a Christmas tree dildo, it's just gonna like look stupid in 2 months. You know, like they should go against the grain and just have things be regular. You know, like what's wrong with being regular? Like because it works. Porn is a billion-dollar business, and there's a more regular days than Easter and Christmas. Like you should just stick to with what works. And the Christmas stuff is really stupid. You know, like they'll have a guy like wearing a Santa suit, and the girl will either be dressed like a reindeer or dressed like an elf, or it's like, come on. Let's just stick with what works. And what works is you have a category. It usually involves how many holes are getting filled, and it's your favorite actress or actor, or whatever. And like you just want, like you don't need it to be current holiday. And then like the turkey one, like I can understand Thanksgiving porn because of all the jokes, like like, I'm gonna stuff the turkey, like like that's funny. Like you have the girl, like laying down on the whatever fake plate, but it's really a bed, and then like the guy gets a turkey baster, but it's like it's really his penis stuffs her. Like that's funny, but if I want comedy, I'll go to a stand-up comedy show. Like let's just keep the porn normal. And I know these are first world problems. I mean, these are extremely first world problems. But then also, and I'm just trying to help. It takes people out of the porn. People want us. People want escapism. Okay, you don't want a porn where everyone's whatever dressed like elves and you got like a Santa gangbang. Like Christmas is to a lot of people, especially adults, is stressful because they're spending money on presents and like a lot of people feel pressure to get people presents and stuff. So like you want to take people out of that. Like you gotta think about the little guy. Seriously. So like the best way to escape, to have some escapism, is actually to just have a normal gangbang instead of a reindeer gangbang. You know, like I don't know. I get the feeling it's like these people, whatever, like the porn director or the companies that produce these videos, like you know they're like a rich lib. They like live in a gated community, so like they don't mind defunding the police. So it's like you're not thinking about the average person. Like that, the average person doesn't have the luxury of you. So like you have to make the porn for that person. So like, I understand. Okay, like you make one Christmas porn where like Rudolph trips and his nose goes up some girl's ass, and it's like, oh my god. So like you have that one novelty one, okay, but the rest should just be normal. Did I just make up a new category? Rudolph nose anal. I might watch that. I'm gonna look it up. I bet you it exists. I bet you it exists. And the Christmas porn is coming out now. you know Halloween's done. See, but the thing with the Halloween porn, that's okay, because in real life, every girl uses Halloween to use as an excuse to dress like a slut. And I don't know why that is, but hey, I'm glad. I'm not complaining. I'm glad girls think that it's appropriate to, basically like think of any costume, but then just put the word sexy in front of it. I think like the dumbest costume I ever saw was a girl dressed as a sexy football player, and this was before the lingerie football league. Okay, so this is way back, and I'm like, this is stupid. But then like it happened in real life, so I'm like, okay, well, anyway, yeah, and like, but yeah, so like Halloween is like the one holiday where you don't care if like every porn is that, because they kind of dress like that anyway. Like a whatever sexy cop or whatever. So I'm not like I'm not knocking everything. I'm just saying most things, most holidays. Like I don't think you should have a Hanukkah porn. Okay, like I don't think you should do the eight dildos or like whatever. The girl shouldn't like the first night she does one guy, the second night she does two guys, and the third night three. And then like obviously the last one she's doing a gangbang of eight. Like that's just too silly. And then like you can make an argument that it is anti-Semitic. You know, I'm just saying, like you don't want to be racist in your porn. You just want to keep it simple. You know. And then like and then especially with like going back to the Easter porn, God, like especially when they do the egg hunt ones, and then like the women hide eggs in their vagina, like that's kind of weird. You know, that is kind of weird, and like now you're making people associate Easter egg hunts with vaginas. And then so like let's say someone finds an egg and they're like, "Oh my god, I just saw this video where she had four of them in there." And then like that ruins it. And then like what if you're dying eggs with your family and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm having weird thoughts." Like, it just adds to the stress. Like, like let's keep Easter just like let's keep Easter private. It shouldn't be allowed to be, a porn spoof. Nothing is gonna come out of it, and you know what? Like the money you might make from it, like it's just not worth it because like you might make people avoid your site. So maybe just breaking even. I don't think President's Day has a porn. I've never seen a President's Day porn. I'm sure there really is an Abraham Lincoln porn, like where like he frees the slaves and like gets like a bunch of blowjobs. You know, like I can imagine the scene, like it'd be like this hot chick like picking cotton, then like Abe walks by, is like, "I freed you." She's like, "Oh, okay, massa." You know, goes to the shed, got the cuck husband. It sounds crazy, but there's some people into that. Like I've been on Reddit. I've read the stories. I've I've read some crazy stories on Reddit. So like the President's Day one is cool. So Abe Lincoln porn, Abe Lincoln slave porn, good idea. Easter porn, bad idea. Christmas porn, bad idea. Halloween porn, good idea. And like I'm trying to think, like I don't think Arbor Day has a porn. Arbor Day is safe. Arbor Day is environmental. Like no one's gonna tarnish that. Because that's making the world a better place. It really is. Because like some things you have to keep sacred. Like Arbor Day is something you got to keep sacred. Okay. I mean, I think, and seriously, I'm just the average person, so I think, and I'm being sincere. I think most people think like me. Like I don't think I'm special. I think I'm just the average person. You know. Now the other thing is, what people do on their OnlyFans. Now that I understand why people on their OnlyFans get crazy because that's based on constant content creation. That's based on like advertisement. Hey, I it's whatever. It's I don't know, like Goldfish Appreciation Day. I just made this video where we put goldfish in my ass. I don't know. I'm just you gotta do some special promotion. Oh God. Anyway, okay. I'm laughing because I'm not normal. I don't think anyone is thinking about this. I really, Christopher Columbus Day born. Okay, your site should not do that. Okay, but if you did, I don't think they have enough Native American women left to even do the porn. So like you'd have to do like they did in the God, like in the what you like in the 50s where like they would just like get a white actor and paint him brown. So like you would have to get like white actresses and like put them in red face if you want to do some Christopher Columbus porn, you know? And like, I don't know if that's going to be too offensive or maybe to be like, the best thing ever. I don't know. Like I don't know much about Native American porn. We call it TP porn, but I don't want to assume everyone is hip with local slang. You know, but like I picture like those porns like being like Christopher Columbus comes over, um, all the hot Indian chicks get smallpox, and then he's like, well, I got the cure, and then like he drops his pants. Now like that might be too much for some people, but I mean like that's what happens, you know. But then also that could take away from like all the all the hard work and planning that everyone involved in the porn did. So like you should just make it normal. So I'm saying like Christopher Columbus, that is probably a bad idea. Bad idea. Do not make a porn about that. Now it's been done, but notice it's not like common, okay? And there's a reason why. And then like I can't think of any other major holidays. Cuz like, if you are one of those people who have pronouns in your bio and like all the flags and stuff, then like you're probably one of those people like who know like every single day is like a some kind of holiday. So like like we could really get crazy, you know. Oh, it's like a golden retriever day, but you like I don't really want to count that as an official holiday. And then like bestiality, let's I we gotta avoid some stuff we just gotta avoid. Okay. Like this isn't Eastern Europe. This is America. We gotta have some kind of standards. Okay. Anyway, I've said my piece. Okay. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.